These trucks carrying Afghan families are heading towards the border crossing with Afghanistan. In the past 2 months, almost 200,000 Afghan nationals voluntarily returned to their country. Ahead of 1st November, the official deadline for all undocumented refugees to leave or to face deportation. Musafir is leaving Pakistan after spending 40 years in the country, a lifetime packed in a few bags.
There are clothes for women and children, some food items. There are also household items like sheets, baskets, and canned food. That's all.
According to Pakistani authorities, Afghan refugees pose a security threat. Musafir migrated to Pakistan in 1982 during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. He worked as a construction worker. He is leaving voluntarily but reluctantly.
Pakistan is our home because this is where we grew up. My beard turned white here. We heard that people who have legal papers can stay, but those who don't will be arrested and placed in temporary camps where they will be separated from women and children and then deported.
A few kilometers away, a detention camp is being set up. Undocumented Afghans will be kept in these tents before being deported to Afghanistan. There are almost 2 million Afghans currently living illegally in Pakistan. The influx of refugees has been constant over the past 4 decades. Pakistani authorities gradually stopped registering them. This family found refuge in Rawalpindi 5 years ago. The father prefers to remain anonymous. About 10 days ago, he received this eviction notice.
This is a notice from the government to the landlords. It says that owners of houses and buildings are informed that if an Afghan individual or family rents their property, they must be asked to vacate the premises immediately. Here is the notice given to us by the owner. He tells us to leave and return to our country. That's what's written here.
In an announcement, the Interior Minister encouraged Pakistani citizens to notify police of any undocumented Afghan living in their neighborhood. This father is terrified, but he refuses to leave.
This house is our only hope. We will not leave it until the owner or the Pakistani government comes to take us out by force. We'll stay here. We're not safe in Afghanistan. We'd rather be imprisoned in Pakistan than return to Afghanistan, because at least here we're alive.
Since the government's announcement, this family's life has been turned upside down.
The school principal told us that us Afghan children could no longer come. I'm mad.
600,000 Afghans found refuge in Pakistan after the Taliban took control in August 2021. This Afghan journalist is hiding in an undisclosed location. Her asylum application is being processed by the French embassy. Without proper documents, she fears she will be deported anytime.
I'm very anxious. I cry a lot. I've changed house several times. I stay inside and don't go out anymore. I'm hiding. Activists like me are arrested and tortured by the Taliban in Afghanistan. I'm afraid the same thing will happen to me if I'm deported.
Several Afghans claim they have had to pay bribes to the Pakistani police. This couple gave equivalent of $1,400 to officers so that the husband could be released from prison. His wife was assaulted by officers. They are meeting with a lawyer who helps them pro bono.
So, Abdullah, how are you faring these days?
When we came here 2 years ago, we had hope because international community promised us those people who work for the human rights, who work with the international community, their allies. They promised they will get them to a safe places. They will provide them a good life. Just they give us hopes, but nothing.
All of a sudden, they find themselves in a situation where the government says, you guys are illegal, you don't have the papers. Why don't they have the papers? Because the government is not giving the papers. This is a human rights disaster. I really hope to wake up humanity to what is happening here. The humanity of our own people and the humanity of the international community. Somebody needs to step in and stop this madness.
Pakistani authorities have announced that in the next phase, Afghans with residency cards will also be sent back. The government claims that security conditions in Afghanistan have improved, even though the country is still going through one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world.